Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Kenji Land. My name is Livethejourney, and behind me you can see the start of my steampunk lighthouse. Now, I like it, I love the way it looks, but it's missing something, and today we're going to work on that. Today, we've got a big job ahead of us. We have to build an airship. Alright, so if I'm going to build an airship up here, the first thing I needed to do was build a bridge out to it, something that people could walk from the top of the tower, well, from the lookout platform of the tower over to the ship itself. And I'd seen some videos recently by Gemini Tay and also some work done by Lexi in our own server where they used campfires to make like trellises. And I thought the effect was kind of cool looking. So I decided to try that for the bridge itself, for the bridge across to the airship. You don't want to know how many times while working with these campfires on various builds I set my own feet on fire. That was humbling, to say the least. But I think over and all, the effect turned out well. I also thought maybe the grindstones would make it look more solid, more industrial. And I'd already used them once on the crane on the other side of the tower, so it kind of carried over the same look. Hopefully that works. I think so. Hopefully it works. With just the campfires and the chains there, it looked kind of flimsy. It looked like something might fall even. So I had to redo that a bit. I had to pull out the old fence posts and sort of line it along that way, and it ended up making it look a lot more solid, which I thought was a big improvement. Unfortunately, right after finishing that, I set to work building this ship. Okay, I'd made this bridge over, it was all connected, it was going to be great. I'd gone to the end and taken some reference pictures, so I knew what kind of ship I wanted to base it on. I wanted to base it off of an end ship. I had schematics and I was ready to go. Unfortunately, I spent, I'm not even sure how much time, building it backwards. I wanted the front of the ship to point towards the beach, because that's where it's going to be seen from mostly when I'm running up. And I had it built completely the other way around, facing the wrong direction. So I had to take a break, rip it all down, redo my scaffolding, and start all over again. Not frustrating at all. No, not at all. Anyway, I started getting to work on the second one, and it actually went really well. It was a lot easier to build the second time around. And here we have our first look at the Stage 1 version of the ship. That is essentially an exact copy of an end ship, minus that weird pointy thing at the front. I don't know what that's about. We don't need it. But it's done out of acacia instead of purpur, which honestly is kind of an improvement. Purpur may be the ugliest thing in the game. So, the next step is to steampunk it out. Because just like that, that's not an airship, that's just a ship hanging oddly in the sky. So for my mind, it's just not steampunk unless there's a lot of metal. Specifically for me, I don't know why, but I see copper. The same as with the lighthouse itself, why I felt the need to build the roof of that out of copper. It just, I don't know. It gives that not quite high-tech, but high-tech vibe. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, so I felt that the ship shouldn't be pure wood. That would not be steampunky. That would not be living the dream, essentially. So I need to cut that down and line the whole thing with copper, or at least the upper rails and the girding on the sides of the ship. My vision was, the wood just wouldn't be strong enough. Then we needed a cooler way of propulsion. Now you'd think I'd go steam, and at some point I'll probably add that, but I went crystal. I thought, we've got these cool amethyst crystals. They kind of look mystical. Let's throw some of them on there and let's make them look like They are the secret power behind this vehicle. Maybe we're going more fantasy here than steampunk, but it was working for me. I really liked it. Like, look at the engine, or at least the thruster there. The steam work is inside. All right. One of the reasons why I like the acacia is because it resembles copper. And another block that resembles copper is the warped root, warped stems, that's what they're called. The nether wood. It looks more like the oxidized version of copper. And if this thing has been weathered at all, then some of it should be oxidized. Plus, I was finding it a little monochromatic. It needed more color. So, since the two go well together, why not? And I mean, look at that. I think our end ship turned out pretty well. Okay, but it's still not an airship. Because what is making it fly? It's got a propulsion system on the back there, but what is holding it up in the air? Clearly, it needs a balloon. So, a while back, I saw someone use grindstones to make really thick chains that were nice and visible from a distance. And I always wanted to try it myself. This gave me a chance. Because, I mean, you're not going to hold an airship onto a balloon with, small ropes or even regular chains. You need big, beefy, tough, these things are keeping you in the air. They gotta be strong. So that's what I went with. I made some nice heavy-duty chains. I like the effect. As for the balloon itself, the color honestly was a big thing. I was looking at different kinds of wool, and I couldn't find anything that looked really quite right. So I ended up making the whole thing out of moss. It was meant to be sort of a temporary block, just so I could figure out the shape. But I think you'll see by the end, it actually turns out quite a bit better than I expected. I gotta say, I'm really impressed by all the new blocks and general items we have to work with in 1.17. Now, the balloon itself, it almost turned into a mob farm. I had to light it up quick. I started to hear cave noises when I was working on it, and I was a little concerned it was going to end up full of creepers. Easily solved. Alright, so there you have... It looks like a pickle. I'm sorry, it does. It's not a big enough balloon. That does not look powerful enough, strong enough, or cool enough to hold up an airship. It really doesn't. It needed something. I tried making it like one layer thicker, and then it looked blocky even more than a Minecraft build already does. So I ended up deciding that I basically had to do something to augment the pickle shape. Rather than have a giant flying pickle, it needed something to give it more shape. And once again, the acacia came to my rescue. It matches really well with the copper, just continuing the same basic scheme. I also remembered that in Hermitcraft Season 7, I forget whoever owned Bigger Logs Incorporated made these cool zeppelins with the wood outlines on them. And I didn't want to copy their outlines, but I got some inspiration from it. So that's where this shaping is coming from. And it also helps explain why it is the shape it is, because it's taking it from just a sack of air to being a hard-shelled Zeppelin-style balloon. And honestly, when I see Zeppelins, they need the tail. Okay? So I tried a few designs out for this, and I wasn't super pleased with a lot of them, but I really liked the effect of the brick layout here, like the black bricks. Partially because it matches the windows down below, so it brings another color back up. And look at that. It's I think it looks great. I'm still not sure about the iron bars in the tail because they don't render in at the same distance as everything else. Like if you get too far away, they disappear, and then they suddenly appear again when you get close, which is not something I'm fond of, but they just looked right to me at the time. And they still do. Yeah, see, there they are, disappeared. I wanted to see if I could get a good look at it from every angle here. And I really do like it. I do. For my first, airship attempt, I think it looks really good. That is a thing. It's a done thing. I like it. So the next step has got to be to do the interior, but at this point, we're getting on to quite a long video here, and we've only got one project. So to all of you out there, if you do like what I'm doing, if you like seeing these videos, or you've got any advice for me, I want to hear it. Drop a like, subscribe, give me some comments, give me some feedback. I'm trying to learn what I'm doing, and you're the only help I can get, right? So I'll see you next time, and well, it's been fun. Bye.